I'm older than Yella. I'm only about shit a couple years older than Yella. I think I might be like 4 or 5 years older than Yella. Dre and them a lot. I'm like 8 or 9 years older than Dre, 12 years older than Q. So the things I was doing as a grown ass man, I had no alcohol around the house. I've never been a big drinker, and we never had weed at that time. Weed hadn't even got popular yet, man. Weed was still kind of man. They was trying to make the transition from the $5 half ounces to the tens. And when they came out with the little small, man, weed was done for a long time. When they was talking about little $20 for this right here, and we've been doing this right here for the past God knows how long. All of a sudden, you tell me you're gonna give me this much for $20? Man, it was done. It was done. And it wasn't until Snoop came around, you started hearing about weed on a regular basis because it was not a factor in my studio. I mean, none of the crews that I worked with, Sound Control Mob, Afroman, none of them. Sound Control Mob, they did a lot of drinking. They would go through 40s and Hennessy like it was the thing to do. And I put my trash out, man, on a regular basis. It sounded like I was at the recycling joint. But that's all they did. They drink 40 ounces. Nobody ever had any weed. That was never an option. Wrecking Crew, Drake drank orange juice, and we drank a lot of sodas from out. That would be it. No weed, never.
And then you said one time on the contrary, MC8 and his boys, CMW, they came in with all that shit.
CMW came in, it was a whole different world. Okay, they came in with a whole other polish. Y'all got to go outside with that shit. But the studio was never all. In fact, me and my daughter was talking this morning, and my grandson, shout out to my grandson Jamari, he is looking to be he's trying to get in the game, and his brother's partner booked some studio time, and she was saying how they went to the studio to kick it. I'm like, why in the fuck did you go to the studio to kick it? Ain't nowhere in the world. If we working, we got a bunch of folks kicking it in the studio. Studio was not a kickback place. It was always working. Now, we may have kicked it in the studio because we all family, but for the most part, not a lot of outsiders. It wasn't until later on, like I said, with CMW and Sound Control Mob, also many cats in Sound Control Mob, you didn't know who the studio session was for. Big Slip be sitting back there busting chairs and shit with his big ass, and everybody else was waiting on him to get in the booth. That's how it was. That's how it was. And no, I was nowhere where I could have been the hater they paid me to be, because if I wasn't, shit wouldn't have happened the way it did.
Yep. Now, this is going to be the perfect time to actually promote Lonzo's documentary, Eve After Dark, because questions and answers, you're a new person to the group, and we definitely welcome you, man. Thank you for joining us. But if you want the real story about West Coast hip hop, you have to go to Prime, and now is it Tubi, Lonzo?
Tubi.
Oh wait, Tubi. Sorry, Tubi.
Yes, yep. We are now on Tubi, folks. If you have not seen the documentary yet, check it out. It's on Tubi. It's also on YouTube Premium, I think. Yeah, YouTube Premium. You got to pay for it on YouTube. If you got YouTube Premium, it's free. I don't know if it's still on the paid list for Amazon. I haven't looked on Amazon since I saw it on Tubi. But yes, and tomorrow I'll be at Santa Monica College premiering my latest documentary, N.W.A. Not Without Lonzo.
There you go. Questions and answers. You got it right there, because he said Lonzo should do a documentary. I said, man, Lonzo has one already and one that is premiering literally tomorrow. So stay tuned for that second one also. Please, please, please. Let's see. Let's talk about Eazy, man, for the last 10 minutes or so. All right, so 30 years ago, take yourself back to that time. Do you remember hearing about Eazy being sick? Do you remember seeing him sick before he passed? Talk to me about what you remember just before he passed.
Today, me and my buddy was having lunch, and I realized, I said, Eazy died around this time. And he said, I Googled it. It was today. I figured it was. I knew it was sometime in March. He said, man, you don't remember this, do you? I said, what? He said, we were sitting in Sizzler over on Avalon, and you told me when you got a call about Eazy being sick. And you told me before it hit the news. I said, I did. I vaguely remember the shit, but I didn't take it serious at that time because I just saw the cat not that long before that. He wasn't that deadly sick. It wasn't like he was, deadly sick. He was, not feeling well, but he was still, up and around for the most part. And I always had a pretty good connection to the Ruthless family. And for him to deteriorate the way he did, man, was very devastating. Because he might have been in my house. I'd say maybe 2 months before he went to the hospital, dude. Because we were all hanging out. I mean, Yella was doing this thing here, and they moved. They stopped coming here. They started renting hotels and things like that to get a different view. And he was hanging out, but he still would come by and wait here to pad for his two bodyguards, the twins. In fact, at the Easy Street documentary, man, I got to reach out for John because John said he would do an interview with us. They don't do interviews.
Please do.
The Samoans, they don't do the interview. Jake and John, they don't do interviews at all. And he said that he told me, he said, man, I'll do it for you, nobody else, because we was cool. Me and the twins. We go to the gym and work out together, man. We worked out in Long Beach at the it wasn't 24 hour back then. It was something else. It wasn't Jackson Lane. It was something else. But we all we work out together and we sit there and talk, man. A lot of shit he told me sitting at that damn gym, man, that made me think maybe he has some real suspicions about my boy checking out of here, dude.
Yeah.
That's real talk.
Did you hear about it from someone else, or did you hear about it like a lot of us did when they read that letter on 92.3 The Beat?
That letter was bullshit, man. That letter was some PR shit. Eazy didn't write that letter. When everybody heard that letter, Eazy didn't talk like that, man. Eazy wouldn't say it like that. They was trying to imitate him. It was like some some AI PR type shit. Man, get the fuck out of here with that shit. We knew he had nothing to do with that letter. It was somebody put that letter together for him and was trying to make it sound like it came out from his own mouth. And we knew that wasn't the case.
Did someone tell you? Do you remember how you learned of his passing?
On radio.
Okay. So it was around that time, or was it that letter, or was it before that?
It was before the letter, man. I remember I was at the pad. I was leaving, and I was at the light not far from my house, and I heard them read the letter. I said, man, Easy to write that fucking letter. That was the first thing I said. And then they said he passed, and so many people went up to Cedar Sinai. They said that when he passed, they said that the switchboard just jammed up, parking lot filled up, and it was almost impossible to even get anywhere near the hospital. And I didn't go up there to see it, but it was really a devastating. That was like the first West Coast person that passed on our watch, man. That was, and he was like the first one to really blow up. He was the first one to really blow up from the West Coast, and to have a part in his success, and to be a part of that, a part of that Ruthless family.